Washington State and Washington is such an interesting game because Washington State is on the wrong path right now, although a win against Colorado ended their losing streak. But it's such an important game because they have a chance to end Washington's perfect season. And that's motivation enough in the Apple Cup to get them to play at a high level. And they have the talent to pull off an upset. And we'll talk more about why that is possible here. Cam Ward kind of fell off the face of the earth in a way because of the losses. And it's not necessarily because of him solely, but he has really been kind of out of the conversation in terms of good quarterbacks because this team has struggled. He is still a really talented quarterback. He is someone who can pull off an upset here. Washington State is very capable of upsetting Washington. They have a number of players that we'll talk about that are going to play a big role. Josh Kelly is one of his favorite targets. They have a trio of wide receivers that have been really fun to watch. And this passing attack, you're going to see the ball thrown a lot in this game. There's going to be a lot of throwing the ball, a lot of throwing the ball around the field. You're not going to see a lot of runs, and that's okay. That's what makes this game so unique and so special is you have explosive offenses going against defenses. When you look at these two defenses, they are not elite by any means. They give up a ton of yards. They give up a lot of explosive plays, and that could make for a really fun back and forth matchup. Washington is still undefeated. That's an element of this game that makes it so interesting. They have not been dominant in the last few games by any means. You look at the last 5 games. They beat Oregon State by 2. They beat Utah by 7. They beat USC by 10. They beat Stanford by 9. They beat Arizona State by 8. They are not dominating like they were at the beginning of the year, and that exposes them to a potential upset. I think teams really believe that they can upset Washington, but they just haven't found a way to do it. It's one thing to be like, oh, yeah, we can do that, but then to actually follow through and finish a game. So far, we haven't seen anybody do that in the last 5 games. Oregon State got close last week, but they weren't able to do that. Eventually, you're going to see Washington get back on track. Eventually, you're going to see an explosive offense remind everyone just how good they are. And now when you have Jalen McMillan back, that helps a ton. But I think that you're still waiting for Washington to remind everyone that, hey, we're the real deal. We're a playoff team. We are the favorite in the Pac-12. Even though everybody wants to pick Oregon, we are the team that everyone is trying to beat. And right now, this is a great opportunity for them to send a message because if you struggle again, there's going to be a lot more naysayers. There's the doubt is going to creep in for a lot of other teams, a lot of other you look at even just within the Pac-12, not even the playoff, the Pac-12, Oregon thinks they're a better team. A lot of people have that sentiment. This is a chance to remind everyone, hey, you can't stop our offense. You have no chance slowing down Roman Odunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Polk. You cannot do that. Michael Penix Jr. is lights out. I think this is a great chance to put up some points and make a big statement. And it really comes down to what can this defense do? What can this defense do to slow down this Washington State offense? We talked about Josh Kelly. You have Kyle Williams and Lincoln Victor for Cam Ward to find downfield. This is an offense that's really, really good at throwing the football when they're playing and firing on all cylinders. The defense is very underrated. They don't give up, or I should say, they don't get a lot of stops. They don't make a lot of disruptive plays. But when they do, they are really fun. Brennan Jackson and Ron Stone Jr. are two of the more underrated defensive ends in college football, and they could have a big impact on this game. The Washington defensive front is also super underrated. A guy like Braylon Trice came into the year with a lot of hype, kind of died down a little bit, but he is still very much a big time playmaker. He is someone who can, like I said, have a I think have a big game. I think that he is very capable of making an impact and getting to Cam Ward, and that will be really fun to watch. Cam Ward and Michael Penix Jr. have plenty to prove here. They are throwing for about the same amount of yards, and I think that Penix is getting more recognition because Washington's undefeated. Now, obviously, Cam Ward and Washington State still have some things to figure out, but this could be a really fun game. I think this has the potential to be a high scoring affair, and Washington State is very much capable of pulling off the upset. Will they actually do that? We don't know, but they're very capable of doing that. I think when it comes down to picking this game, Washington is just having such a special season that one, I want them to win in a way so that you can see an undefeated Washington team go against a one-loss Oregon team for that rematch. But at the same time, I also love seeing upsets. I love seeing a team like Washington State put up 40, 50 points and have an absolute shootout of a game. I think that that's really fun. That's what makes college football really exciting. But I just can't deny the special season that Washington's having. I'm not saying Washington State can't do it, but when I have to pick this game, I have to lean Washington because they're so good. They've found ways to win, and I think that continues this weekend.